For the longest time, I have wanted a cat tree for my little baby Jackson. Each time that I go to look for one, the super cheap ones are very plain, beige, boring. The ones that I want are way too expensive and overpriced. Another deterrent for me from getting a regular cat tree is that Jackson doesn't like heights. Despite being a cat, he's actually very afraid of them. I can often deter him from getting on the counters just by putting objects in his way. So if he feels like a cat tree is inconvenient for him to climb, he will not climb it. I just moved, so I have a ton of extra boxes. So I thought, what better use to put these boxes than to make a cat tree of my own? More than once I have seen Jackson choose a box over a bed. So making the base out of cardboard was the perfect option. I don't know how this will work. It might not work out at all, and that's okay. But it's the process. I got this idea from a TikToker who made a greenhouse for her cat. If I can find it, I'll put it up here now. It was very adorable, and I want to try to do that, but I want to do a cat castle. If you can see right here, my cat castle, this is my idea. I think it's simple enough to execute, but also intricate enough to look very pretty with all of my other decorations. I often don't sketch out what I'm doing before I start crafting, but this sketch was extremely helpful. I used this castle as like a kind of a reference for what I was going for. So the first thing that I did is I went to Dollar Tree because I do love that store. You can find so many variety of things for, $1. Well, I guess $1.25 now that the economy is in the toilet. Here are some of the things that I got. I got a green tablecloth to put around like grass. And then I got a blue tablecloth, and it's a circular one, so I'm hoping this is the base, and I'll spread it out and it'll look kind of like a moat going around the castle. Then I also found this table runner that looks kind of like a banner that you would see on the side of a castle. So I thought that was fun. I got a few more things at the Dollar Tree, kind of things that he could play with, like streamers that I could hang up from the inside of the castle. I also got this black tablecloth to use as a kind of like a protector for the floor. Then I went to Walmart to get paint and a sponge because I want to sponge on paint and gesso so that it gives it like a textured side look. I just got apple barrel huge black paint can, and I know it's probably overkill, but I was like, how am I gonna cover this whole thing? And then I also got a huge tub of Modge Podge because I want to seal it just so that no paint is coming off on the floors or kind of mixing anywhere else once it's dried. I also have a ton of these foam sheets that I want to cut up into little bricks. The last thing I got at Walmart was this peat moss. I'm gonna try to glue it to the sides and make it look like it's moss growing on the castle. I have a lot of other art stuff that you'll probably see me using in this video that I already had built up over the years. You're gonna get your own castle, you know that? I'm gonna give you the world, and I hope you like it, because if you don't, then this has all been a waste. Here you can see me lining out the boxes. I used a very sturdy box for the centerpiece, just so it had a good base. You can see me kind of lining them out, seeing how tall I want the turrets to be, just what kind of shape the castle will take. I just kind of took some random household items to see what kind of circular shape I wanted the turrets to be. I went with a wire basket just because it was the easiest to cut out of the boxes. Here's the shape of the door that I went with. I just kind of sketched it on. I'm not going for anything realistic, so I just kind of freehanded that. As you can see, Jackson is already liking the boxes. He loves him a box. Right here, I'm showing you how I attached the circular cutouts to the thicker box. After I attached the circles, I then took a flat sheet of cardboard and kind of just started rounding it along the circular edge to make the walls. I bent over the cardboard so that I could hot glue it down, and it also gave it a more sturdy structure doing this. As you can see, I did a few layers. This is with 2 layers on. I left the back exposed just in case Jackson ever wanted to get in those. Right here is the 3rd tier that I did. I did not glue the sheets directly to the base because I wanted to build it up since there wasn't the strong cardboard on the other side. This was just kind of a turret sticking out. Here is the right side of the castle, just kind of showing you again the inside of what I did and how I folded down the cardboard on the 2nd tier. Same as the 1st tier, just showing another view of it. Here is the tops of the castle. I kind of roughly just took a ruler, spaced it out, and sketched in some squares. Nothing perfect again, this is just kind of a cartoonish castle. And here it is on the castle, and I think it adds a really nice touch. Here is the castle with all of the edge pieces on and the turrets on. As you can see, it's really coming along. Here's the window. Again, it's just a rough sketch that I did, and then I patterned it on and then just cut it out with an X-Acto knife. Here's the back of the turrets. I still left them open if Jackson ever wanted to get in. I just kind of patched them up with some cardboard. It doesn't look very good, but the paper mache definitely helped. I used a mix of Modge Podge and water as a paper mache base, and then I could just kind of took some extra newspaper clippings, cut them up, and put them on the castle. This really helps smooth out the transition areas between the turrets, between the different layers. And then I added some gesso, which really went in the small cracks of the newspaper and evened it out. After the gesso, I added a layer of black paint and let that dry. I don't have much footage from this transition, but it's really just me putting on layers of paint. And then after that, I put some gray paint and sponged it on to give it kind of like grainy, castle-y, textured look. This was my favorite part, honestly. The painting was super easy. The only hard part was the turrets. Getting that rounded cardboard shape is definitely very difficult. But this one was fun. I love just sponging on the paint. I don't have any footage of what I did here, but in a synopsis, I kind of just took foam strips. I showed them at the beginning of this video. They were foam squares of different colors. I cut them up into long strips. I glued them to the cardboard, and then I sealed them with a heat gun. Foam strips are excellent whenever you're working with small detail work. If you don't use a heat gun though, they stay porous, so when you paint them, the paint just absorbs into the foam. So you have to treat them with a heat gun, and then they can be easily painted. But after they're treated, it is really nice to have little details like this. That's how I got the wood kind of look. And then right here you can see that I'm just kind of going in with a little bit of black paint and aging the door of the castle to make it look weathered. Here is me putting on the moss. You can see that there's a gap in between the main box and the turrets. So I took this peat moss, kind of expanded it, and then just filled in those gaps. As you can see, it filled them in quite nicely. Right here, Jackson is already settling in. He's made it his home already. But this is right after I put the Modge Podge on the top. Don't worry, none of the Modge Podge was near Jackson. And so yeah, it was drying, and this is almost finished. I was super proud at this point, and I was so happy to see Jackson already sitting inside. Here is the final product, my whole little area that I have with my king chair and then Jackson's castle. I was very happy with the final product. As you can see, I left the inside unpainted. I just didn't want to take away from Jackson. He loves a box, so I feel like if I painted it, he wouldn't like it anymore. I also added a cushion in the middle just so that he could sit on it. He does like the cushion, and he sits there occasionally, but he loves the center part of the castle. You can see here we have the certified approval of Jackson. It can chin scratch. If anything can chin scratch, it is approved by Jackson. Here's some rare footage of him on the top. As you can see, it's still very sturdy. He just hates heights, so he's very uncomfortable right here, but it was nice to see that he could stand on it. Here is some sped up footage of me painting the king banner that you saw to the left. I don't have anything else. Thanks for watching. That was my little video on how to make a castle, a cat castle. So yeah, I'm just gonna leave it off here. I am not a video producer. This is just something I'm doing on my free time to show me just kind of what I do for my art. I don't have a lot of time to video edit, but I'm always thinking about it. It is a hobby of mine that I really love to do. I'm trying to shoot for 1 video a month release. I am going to be a Modge podge of everything, of movie reviews, of art, of just my daily life, kind of just anything that I think about and I want to make a video about it. Thank you so much for watching, and let me know in the comments down below what you want to see next. I have 9 subscribers. I really shouldn't be saying that.